and able to start the game. Let's go. Okay, so back to Opera and starting. Okay, best of luck. And I'm really unprepared. I usually don't know openings well, and I will go with this one. I believe that's the Dutch, and we'll see. Game clock starting. All good. I know the first 4 to 5 moves, I think, but we'll see if my thinking here is correct, as always. And with that, I'm now okay to put out my headphones. It will work like this. I will not be able to see or hear Balint, but he will be able to see our game, of course, and he will be able to hear what I'm saying. I will always say like, oh, sorry, Balint, for interrupting. Then I give my thoughts about the game, and he's able to react. Of course, after the game finished, I will put in the headphones again, so we have a little chat about the game, and then we're off for the day. Again, it is round number 7 in the Chess Dojo Classical Open. I'm at place 11, 3.5 out of 7, and the last 2 rounds were bye games as I were on vacation. So yeah, it will be interesting to see if I manage a win here. If I do win, I believe I might be, for the very first time, in the top 10 of the leaderboard.
With this, nice.
With this, Balint, I will put out my headphones. I wish you lots of fun commentating, and talk to you later. And hear you later, of course. Okay.
Also, I want to thank you for invitation, and I will gladly comment your today game.
Okay, cool.
And good luck.
Well, thank you. So, I will put out the headphones right now. Okay.
Of course. Bye. So today we have a nice game. Dutch defense starts with c4 f5, and we can stake.
Okay, sorry, this is the first time that I'm interrupting you, Balint. I'm sorry, but I'd like to share my thoughts here. So this is what usually always happens. If I play d5, he probably plays c5, and then I'm stuck with a white bishop. I never know how to really develop it then. And yeah, that's one of the problems that I have. So I have to do lots of thinking here. And as there are so many things I'd like to attack right away, but I'm not developed yet. So first development and then attacking. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay, guys. In this moment, the move number 9, rook e1, and we have the interesting game between Tokmakov Vladimir and Gerber Richard, played 1999, and in that case, Tokmakov, who was favorite in that match. Basically, I'm checking from the beginning. The opening was completely correct, as I said. Maybe knight e4 is a little bit earlier played than usual. So instead of knight e4, the move number 5 for black, we can maybe play just short castle, and also different approaches. In these moments we have the structure like f5, e6, d5, and c6, which is well known theoretical position called Stonewall. So black is really tough and very hard to break him, but he had all the time problem with his bishop on c8, so that is obvious. big difficulties about his development, like in French defense, that French bishop. So in one moment, that will be necessary to find a way to develop him. Yeah, after rook e1, this move is nice move, and white wants to go directly with some e4 idea. In my opinion, development is necessary, so black needs to do something with his queen side. Also, without that knight, probably attack and ideas like queen e8, queen h5 doesn't goes well completely, because the attack without knight on from f6 is really slow, and white will survive. So black just needs to take positional fight into the center to control some important squares like e4, e5, d5, and yeah, probably at the end that statical weakness is on the c file double pawns. Maybe c4 could be a next land base for black pieces. Examples like, I don't know, knight c6, knight a5 ideas, or some other stuff. Also, we need to see how we will develop that knight from c8. Anyway, we can expect very nice, interesting game in next few moves. Interesting fight.
Sorry for interrupting again, Barlind and everybody, but here, as you see, I'm kind of stuck. Don't have enough knowledge in the Dutch, and here I think of two things. Maybe knight b8 to d7 and then f6 to just bring it over for having more attacking power on the king side. The other thing is bishop b8 to c6, and yeah, then pawn b6, bishop c7, b7. So I don't know if this works out well, but I like the idea to have more attacking power on the king side. On the other hand, the knight on c6 would give me more strength on e5, and yeah, we see how that goes.
This could
So
be
I'm
really,
probably
really
going to
interesting,
do
and will be
knight
okay.
d7, which temporarily will give me a very weak e6 pawn.
Exactly.
So I keep on thinking and then just move. Okay. Over
Yeah,
to
of
Balin.
course, Jan. Think about that. I'm not completely uh, following that idea. I don't know how that will end up, and depends from white responses. Obviously, when we have something like rook e1, our opponent basically telephone us, I'm going to play e4. So we need to see what is going on and how much damage and how much problems he will make with that type of moves like e4. So some slow development, like I don't care, with b6 or something, could be really big problem, because the longest diagonal h1 a8 is covered, and there is a, like Jan said, sniper, and we need to think about that. In the future we need to find a way to stop or neutralize him. Anyway, this idea is actually okay. Knight d7, knight f6 to protect that e4 square. The only problem is if the opponent understand and he push that pawn immediately. So that is something what could be a problem for black pieces. Anyway, Jan decides to take on on e4, which will probably be taken back. Of course, the rook now is on the open file, and Jan needs to do something about this e6 weakness. So maybe we'll see what he's gonna do. Multiple options in this moment. So
Again, sorry for interrupting. My first reaction was just follow up with the plan, putting the knight on f6 now, attacking the rook. Pawn would be
attacking the
defended
rook,
by the bishop, but he needs to move away with the rook. And then I fear I fear that he goes knight g5, having a double attack on the pawn on e6. So what shall I do then? I could just go pawn e5. And that's probably what I'm going to do here. I will keep on thinking, and over to Balint.
So this is interesting. Jan can hear me now, and he's playing with. He's struggling with his thoughts. What next? Also, the position is not easy to how to continue. And basically, knight f6 is. I like to call this type of moves grandpa moves. You know that all guys in park when they are playing chess, and when you are asking them what is the results, they don't know, and they just enjoying in the in the open space nature and park, and some games, of course, hanging around. So anyway, this knight f6 is a standard move, obvious move, logical move, which will save Jan for short amount of period, because e6 square is vulnerable, and he didn't help with this move knight f6 about e6 weaknesses. So the way how he's gonna continue will decide the game, and probably this next few moves will be very important, especially for black position. I think in this position white is completely okay. His structure, the only weakness in white structure is double C pawn, but in these moments I don't see how black can expose them and attack them, so they will survive. And the main problem in this position stays on e6, so that is the biggest weakness in black position, and he needs to find a way how to push forward that pawn. Anyway, very nice solution in my opinion. And we can see also what is going on with the game, our primary game. I said that Tukmakov Vladimir and Gerber Richard, they played the same, and in these moments knight d7, knight d, yeah, my opinion my opinion about this position after 11th move, white move rook e4, is that e6 is not protectable and we cannot save him. So basically the best way is to sacrifice him or do something else. Also the move 10th move fe4, I think was not the best move.
Sorry for interrupting again, Balint. Here I have several candidate moves. One is knight f6 to g4, but I feel this is too soon. And the next one is, why is it too soon? Because I have trouble on the queen side. The bishop c8 is not developed yet, and I of course would like to bring it on the long diagonal, a8, h1, but we'll have to think about that. Next move I'd like to play is h5, just to start attacking his king side, attacking in quotation marks. Then several moves on the queen side come to my mind, like pawn c6, queen d7, but I don't know why. So maybe bishop c8 to d7, queen c8 makes more sense, but I really don't know and need to think a lot. So if I would have played more Dutch, I would know more about the plans, but I obviously don't. So I
Obviously.
just will think a little more and then make a move. Back to Balint.
Okay, Jan. Okay. So as Jan said, it's really difficult, especially if you are not playing this Dutch defense many times before. So let's go back from this moment and let's speak about the about the move 9. So after this rook e1, as I mentioned, our opponent just telephoned us to us he is coming and we need to do something different. Okay. So this one. Yeah, and especially in this situation, and move number 10. Jan, move number 9. Jan played knight d7. I'm not big fan of that move because knight on d7 usually goes when do we have the double knights, knight on f6, and then we are playing knight to d7, giving the options for black to jump on e4, and later we can support that pawn or square with knight d7 to f6. In this case, probably much better move, and also I'm scanning this position with the computer, that knight c6 is the best move. So basically knight c6, the idea is to attack vulnerable c4 pawn, also gives you easier way to push that e5 pawn, and the third benefit of this move is your light square bishop stays open, so you don't need to move your knight after knight d7 to catch some purpose for the bishop. Knight c6 and he stays open. Also d5 is not problem, e d5, queen d5 or c d5, that works perfect for us. And knight from c6 will find the very cool square, knight a5 follow up with b6, and cc vulnerable pawn give to black the
Okay, and here I
compensation and
think
some.
I see a first tactic for him. As I said, by bringing the knight to g5, he has a double attack on my e6 pawn. If I go bishop c8 d7 now, he plays the knight to g5. I put my queen on c8, but he is also attacking with the bishop on g2, now my b7 pawn. And if he then takes with the knight on e5, I retake. He takes, I retake with the bishop. He takes with that one. Oh, I need to calculate that properly. Sorry.
Okay, and that is thanks to share your thoughts and ideas about this position. As I said, probably the key lies in this move number 9, and knight d7 is not the best square for the knight, and as Jan said, that is lack of experience about French defense, Dutch defense structure, and of course the ideas without two knights are a little bit different. Jan mentioned that options to attack the white side and white king side. Of course, that goes well with queen e8, queen h5 plan, maybe to push g4, g5, g4. But in this moment, it's not possible. The knight is gone. We trade the knights, and white is really fast. So after knight d7, he pushed e4, which is probably the best continuation for white. Let me check. So yeah, according to computer, and that primary game took Mako Vladimir and Gerber Richard. That was into the game. Of course, in this moment after move after 10th move e4 for white, I don't like that fe4.
Okay, I'm a coward.
Because
I'll probably play h6 in fear of his g5 knight. And this is probably too slow, but I like to defend that. And he probably not going to sacrifice his bishop on h6 then, as that would really weaken my king side, of course. But yeah, we see. And time is also a thing here.
okay, Jan. So I'm going back on the move number 10, fe4, rook e4, and now we are struggling with the e6 weaknesses. In this case, the other option for black was to push e5. I know that is also not the best according to computer, and that seems bad for black, leaving some vulnerable pawns on e6 or e5, or you know. But anyway, that is the only active way to finish our development as with the black pieces. So Jan took on e4, fe4, rook e4, and now we are in troubles. I saw the only move, in my opinion, the only move which can give us some ideas about development, how to finish the development. And that was e5. One of the best move in this position was e5. If you sacrifice your pawn, you will take back some of these c pawns. At the end, white will stay with c3 and c4 pawns. Our bishop will be able to attack the rooks. Combining attack on the rook, also the vulnerable pawn on c3 or c4 will fall down, and they are hanging after some basic e5 and trades, and bishop f6 or bishop e6 and f5. So the best move, in my opinion, is e5, because we will just activate our bishops, and basically we can solve the problem about e6 vulnerable pawn. So Jan played Jan played knight f6, rook e2. Maybe it's not the best move, but yeah, and this knight d7 variation is played in the game Felsberg Trevor 2005, and the game end up with a draw. But basically, white has a serious advantage, and the advantage for white is +1. So really difficult for black to play. Knight f6. He continued like that. Rook e2, and now we can see almost the only move and the only solution for black is to play queen e8 and transfer the queen on the other side. Also, king h8 helps about that problem, knight g5 or some geometry. e6 vulnerable square is the biggest worry for Jan. Yeah, h6 is some impression about problems, knight g5 and geometry on e6 and bishop h3, but it's not enough. And of course, white can continue to develop his pieces. h6 leave the black squares very vulnerable, as I'm sorry, white squares on the king side. g6, h5, e6 stays vulnerable, and that is normal. And white can continue to push forward with something like queen d3, queen c2, taking control over the g6 square, knight h4 also at some point, bishop h3 or queen e1. I don't see how will Jan protect his e6 pawn, and that will be the most important task. Yeah, now white is thinking about that, how to finish his development. Obviously, he's in a driver's seat. Of course, he's better in these moments, but we'll see. It's not crucial advantage, and black can fight. Still, it's possible to reorganize his pieces, and some breakthrough into the center could give him some activities and some counterplay. We'll see what's gonna be in next few moves. We are waiting white move, and that could be decisive. Now depends what he will choose, and how Jan can continue and keep fighting about e6 weakness, vulnerable pawn, and how to transfer some pieces on the king side and arrange some counter attack. We'll see.
Hello, Balin. This is Jan again. Sorry for interrupting. And here, I like, of course, that he starts to think, but I also fear that he starts to think, of course. And here I'm clearly in lack of a plan. So what I usually do is I start with an evaluation of the position, and I go with the K-maps system. That means king safety first. Now he played. Okay, I will do this later on. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so white goes with the bishop a3, which is not, in my opinion, not the best move at this moment, because not direct threat. That's the point. Yeah, Jan is thinking what next, but he's in serious trouble.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting too much. My thoughts here are that
No,
my
share your thoughts.
e6 pawn is really weak, and of course would like to go e5, but this doesn't seem to be an option right now. I don't like his. Oh, sorry, I don't like his knight on f3. So my knight here is pretty much doing nothing. So I would like to go h7 and g5, attacking his knight and also making way for my dark squared bishop and the queen, of course. Yeah, so that's what I'm probably going to do. I also like to connect rooks. And yeah, let's see. Back to Wallet.
Okay. Jan share with us his thoughts, and of course he wants to play something like knight h7. Basically, why I don't like that move. That move is usually the knight doesn't need to go from the center. So f6, c6, c3, and f3 squares for white and black knights are the most natural and most effective pieces, because you have control over two central squares, and basically when you move them from the center, that's the problem, because you are losing control into the center, and probably he'll be punished if he do that. I understand his decision, because now it's very difficult to find a normal way and normal path to cover these weaknesses on g6, e6, and light squares at all. So maybe in this moment, in this position, could be queen e8, or he can maybe play some king h8, king h7. I don't like this position at all. And also the problem on e6 stays forever. So maybe in one moment he needs to choose some radical measures and e5 or something to open that center, to trade some pieces, and black job needs to be to find some ideas to make the c pawns vulnerable. So after some standard e5, d5, d5, the chances to trade the queens or to trade the bishop, that's the idea in this position. I don't see nothing else. Also, the problem for black, he's playing many times with the same piece. Knight was there on f6. Try to develop your other pieces. Maybe bishop d7 and queen c8 was slightly better, but still, as I said and mentioned earlier, the main problem stays, and e6 vulnerable pawn uh, could be the decisive in this position. So I'm sorry, it's not easy to protect him, and probably we need to organize the best way to sacrifice him and push him on e5. We'll see. In this position, white is obviously much better. Semi-open b file, e file for his rooks. The bishop stays on the top, on the roof. I like to call them snipers, because they are when they have a target, they are just waiting on the higher ground, and you cannot pass through them. Aiming on the b7, on the e6, that light square bishop is a beast. So how to neutralize him? It's not possible completely. And Jan start with this knight h7, knight g5 idea, which is okay if white don't play some fast stuffs, and if you don't attack the pawn on e6. So maybe bishop h3 could stop Jan idea with knight h7, knight g5. I know I played very interesting game on this first league against Ivic, and I also I was in trouble what to do with my knight. Knight was on b3. My plan was to push that pawns a3 b4 or b3 a3 b4, but I decided to after 10 minutes to play knight a1 with idea to transfer him on c2 b4 and c6 later. But anyway, I knew that do not move your knight from the center. I'm speaking that to myself and in difficult position when I lost over 10 minutes of my time thinking and finding nothing. I decided to play knight a1, knight c2, knight b4, and knight c6 at the end, which is really slow, really passive, and my knight from the beginning was probably on the better square. Also in this moment, Jan, with his knight on f6, feeling some struggles and pressure about e6 square, about some central squares, about the white snipers on a3 and g2, and he's trying to solve that problem on some unspecific way. Basically, you cannot move the knight from the center. He controls many squares, and his absent will be probably decisive in this position. So big advantage for white. I hope Jan will find a way to make some counterplay in this position. That depends also from white pieces and how his opponent will play. That is one chess lover from Japan, and yes, it's nice to have some international chess tournament on Chess Dojo. Really nice tournaments. Some of my students also likes to play these tournaments on Chess Dojo, so very only nice words for this, and these guys are doing good stuff and preparing that tournaments, sharing with chess community, and they just help about some beginners and players who like to play some tournaments and have no time, or they have some time in specific periods from they play really good games from his homes, and that's really cool. You don't need to waste time, especially if you are not professional, to go on some tournaments, to spend some monies. I believe this is really good way to learn some serious chess playing these type of tournaments. Of course, when I worked with Jan, I said to him, please Jan, do not play that blitz and bullet games at the beginning, in the moments when we are working and when we are trying to figure out something deeper and to analyze, to learn him some interesting stuffs. Okay, white goes with his move c5, which is not, in my opinion, which is not the best move at all, and black actually won some trades to reduce that white pressure. As you can see, c4, d4, he have the pawns into the center. We are without them into the center, and d6, e6, they are just lower than d4 and c4. And white now starts some trades with c5. I think that is not the best way, for sure, probably bishop h3 or just standard classical stuff with queen d3, or finish your development and then strike on e6 is a better plan. In the position when we are when we have a lower space like we have in these moments, we are black is on the 6th-7th rank, as you can see. We like to trade some pieces. That is very good for us because we will reduce the white pressure, which was serious, and of course it was really difficult for black to find some normal plan. Okay, what is going on? Rook b8. I'm sorry, I missed one move. Rook b1, rook b8, c5. First of all, what can we say about rook b1 and rook b8? Rook b8 is not necessary to be played in these moments. Probably black can play b6, rook b1, b6, and after some discover attack, knight e5 or knight h4, black can actually sacrifice his quality, his rook. And if white goes with something like knight h4, opening that diagonal a1, h1, a8 for the light square bishop, opening the sniper view for the sniper, we have something like bishop a6. So b6 instead of rook b8, knight h4 and bishop a6 give up from this rook on a8, but taking that sniper and without light square bishop, white light squares around the king stays vulnerable. So b6, knight h4 for example, or knight e5 or something, bishop a6 and bishop a8, queen a8, very nice active play on the light squares. So when we are stuck and when we doesn't have another option, we need to fight, and we need to sometimes we need to sacrifice some material, some pawns to get normal game, to get some initiative and counterplay compensation. Otherwise,
Hello, sorry for interrupting.
we'll be stuck.
Here my candidate move is pawn c6, as it would give my queen more room to navigate.
I'm sorry, just to check, Jan, can you hear me?
It would prevent his pawn to c6 after I moved to b6, so maybe it's good, maybe it's not. And we'll do some more thinking as always. And Balin, please don't laugh at my thinking here.
It's not possible.
Yeah, I'm just not really prepared.
Can you hear me,
for
Jan?
Dutch.
I'm sorry.
I think experienced Dutch players know these kind of positions and know the plans behind it. I don't. That's why I need to think a lot, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's crazy way to solve this problem about development. Rook b8, c6, and after cd bishop d6. Now it's almost forced. Now we can see that knight on h7 completely lost the purpose. So every time, guys, when you have a knight on f6 and you don't have a blocked center, do not move your knight. Usually knights goes back on e8 or h7 in some specific situation. When do we have, for example, padlock e4 d5 against d6 e5, then we can tell that the center is completely blocked, and the time is not important. We stop d6 e5 against pawn chain e5 d5. When we have something like that on the board, then side attack goes well. In that moments we have a time transfer the knight to make some rotation and bring him on the perfect square. Until that moment, you need to dynamically stay and make some dynamic balance into the center. Without knight, it's really difficult to organize a proper way to fight for the central squares. Basically, as I mentioned before, the knight is very strong into the center because he is covering two different central squares, e5 and d4, or d5 and e4. So only in the moments when the center is blocked, we are capable and we are ready to make some rotation with the knights, and that is good. Before that, some moves like knight h7, Jan played knight h7, we can tell about that moves. That is a mistake. Anyway, Jan is just, he likes to play and he's unexperienced in this particular position, and of course even much stronger players will have the big problem about this position if we doesn't know the ideas. That's the problem. That is the reason why we are learning all the time chess till the end of our lives, and we are at the end also we don't have a complete knowledge about some positions. So in this case, it's really difficult for black because the bishop on c8 is undeveloped, the rook on b8 no purpose. Usually we need the rooks on the open files, and look at the white rooks, rook on b1 aiming on b7 naturally, and also taking the other squares on the b file, and also the rook on e2 is really flexible. I like that rook on e2 because we can double the rooks on the b or e file. Anyway, what can I say for black pieces? That also white lady on a3 is really cool. She's shining on the dark squares, making a serious pressure on the queen side, on the black queen side. Anyway, now is the moment to go up, to go forward with this knight, or to start development for our bishop. I don't see the other plan. Maybe some rook lift like rook f5, but that will be stopped with the move knight e5. So maybe the only rational move is bishop d7. I know for many of us this type of move is really difficult, and actually all the time is questioned why. Like in every job, sports, war, we need to activate
Okay, hello everyone.
more
This is Jan again. Sorry for
people.
interrupting. I think it's kind of equal. But going back to the original evaluation, K maps K for king safety. I think his king is way safer than my king. Material is equal. Then we have K maps A activity, piece activity. Yeah, my knight on the rim, h7, of course, looks dim, as the old saying goes. But I tried to activate it. I'd like next to go rook f6 and then knight g5. So we see if that will be something doable here. So let's see, played something. Okay.
Yeah, white goes with the knight e5.
If I
that
would
is
be him,
national.
of course, G6 looks tempting, but he's now also allowed to take C6 with his knight, as I cannot retake because of my rook. Let's think. Oh, and I just forgot the sniper on g2. He has double attack on c6. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry again. So how can I defend this? Of course, going back with the rook to a8. That would delete the threat, I think. But of course it would not. Then if he takes with the bishop, I take, he... Oh no, it works. I thought of a possible fork here for my queen and rook on b8. I don't know.
Jan is worried about next moves, and that is obvious why. The reason is his pieces are
Currently there are
completely
so many things
undeveloped.
happening here. So if I take the rook to a8, he is free to go knight g6, attacking my rook. My rook would go to f6. He could check me on e7. I would need to go to king h8. Then he could go back to g6 check, and we would have a perpetual. I don't think that he would go for it because alone of time. But with my rook being there, it should work out. Let's go. We see. Time is running up anyway.
So what to say about this move? I'm not satisfied with this type of moves. Basically, Jan played rook b8 earlier, so try to, at the beginning, our job is one piece once. And if you are not sure where to develop your pieces, it's much better to think like this. I didn't use her before. I need to open something for that piece. I need to give some job for that piece. As I start the story about any sports or war or job, more peoples organize to work together and to do one job probably will be more efficient and more and better than if you leave some soldier to stay without fight, or some sports on the bench, sport guy on the bench, or worker, if you are paying them and they are just sitting into the corner. So like every job in chess, we need some improvement, some more pieces combine to work together. That is very important for us and for literally every development and every game. So rook a8 is something what I don't like because I don't like he's already played. Much better move in my opinion was queen to c7 and give the purpose for a lady. Do not keep her on the bench. So what will how this move white will punish, I don't know, but there is a many ways. Our dark square, young dark squares are completely vulnerable and very weakened, so we don't have the way to do something good, something which can solve our problems about development. So this knight g6 wasn't necessary, and usually without this knight e7 continuation, this type of moves are pointless. So I'm joking with my students and I'm telling that do not threat your opponent with empty gun. So why are you came there on g6? Do you actually want to give him a check on e7, and is that important? Does it give you some chances to make any progress? So in this moment, maybe knight e7, and he can take on c8, but basically Jan can recapture that with his lady, queen c8, and she'll be protector for the b7 weakness.
Sorry for interrupting again. Just to finish the evaluation. So king safety, again, my king is under attack, I think. He's better. Material equal. Activity, he's way more active than I am. My rook, my knight looks bad. My bishop is restricted, so I think he's way better in activity. Pawn structure is we both have 3 pawn islands, and yeah, so that is kind of equal, I think. And space, he has also way more space, so he's not clearly better, but better for sure. Okay, what's happening here? I think this is kind of all right. And if I take, he needs to retake. Then I can go bishop c d7. And then I have my rook free to move on a8. So that's probably something good to do, as I don't see any strange tactics or anything here. I probably do this right away. Did I say I can go? I'm in check, and then he takes, I retake, and he won the pawn. Okay, more thinking needed.
So as we heard, the Jan is thinking about that to take. That is a kind of salvation, but not every time. He wants to reduce the material, and that's it. Instead,
Often
in
it's
this
just a matter of
moment,
move order. Why don't I just go first? Bishop d7. Take. All good. Cannot take. Good. Check. Should be all fine. So I just do it. Because I lose the pawn on b7. As easy as it is. So, lovely Jan. Super played. And I'm so stupid.
oh, Jan is not so stupid, and he just saying that because maybe he's not super satisfied with this position, but still it's playable. And bishop d7 is, in my opinion, the strongest move, and the move which gives him some chances, because g6 is hanging, and that is maybe what he didn't notice at first moment. So the main problem for him is, yes, inactive position, and really hard
Rook
way to
f7
develop
probably would have
himself.
saved the day.
So that bishop
Yep,
d7
that's what I'd liked.
was the best move.
But I didn't do it, and so again, one move blunder and bad. What happens now if he takes the pawn on b7? I still go with the rook. He goes here, boom. He also gets, yeah, probably that was a losing move, but that's chess and that's me. And yeah, I start getting angry.
Said that he starts to get angry, but that is not good. in any particular period of game. He just needs to calm down and to see rationally what
And
is
more
going on
stupid
in
stuff
his
coming
position.
up. Why didn't I just take his knight? Well, if he takes, I take his knight, then he can take my... Oh, he's still a pawn up.
Yeah, this seems really hard and difficult position for Jan. It's not possible to stop
Oh, now I'm getting really
white
angry
invasion.
because I spent more time thinking of, could I have taken his knight? So let's go back to the queen move. Queen e7. My queen is protected. No, it was not protected. That's why I couldn't take it. Okay, then I'm good again. But still, so bad.
We'll see how Jan can solve this. Whoa, he found this interesting rook f7 move. He mentioned that earlier, but probably something else was better in that moment for him. So white trade the queens because he's stronger, and probably his knight goes on e5, which seems really tough decisions. What next?
Well, now we can just play knight e5. I need to go out of the way with the rook, so it's e7. Then he can just take the pawn. Really stupid. But I don't know if there is would have been a way to protect the pawn on b7, and we'll have to analyze that later on. But this is now lost, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Jan is completely right about that. He's, I think, completely lost. These options for white, many options lead him in winning
Yeah, I'm just
position.
trying a little to see if he does a stupid mistake, but look at my pawns. If he just takes my bishop, I mean, I have 3 pawns isolated and material down, so it's clearly winning for him now. I just don't want to give up right away. Should probably do this. Let's see what Balin says afterwards, but yeah. Wasted time. But, well, not really wasted. I could learn more about the Dutch probably after watching the video on demand, all of Balin's comments, and we see. But still, I'm angry because I thought it was kind of okay, but I didn't see that with the b7 pawn and the attack on the... I'm still thinking of the other situation and have to take a look afterwards. Okay, let's see one more of his moves and then we see. And I wonder why he takes so much. Yeah, I was wondering why he takes that much time, because it was all clear what's going to happen here. Take. I think taking c6 would have been better for him. Now it's just bad pawn structure, but he would have also had bishop takes, I retake, he takes with the knight, and he would have had a fork. So, yeah. Okay, is this worth fighting? He is +2, +3 soon. I cannot defend c. Yeah, I would just lose lots of pawns, and with his strength, he's probably good to win with just 1 pawn up. No, I don't see anything. It's not worth fighting. So I give up and put my headphones in and then just see what Barland has to say. And then, yeah, congratulations, of course, to KarpovianPython. Well played. nothing else to say. So, yeah, putting in the headphones here.
Hi, Anne, can you hear me?
Yeah.
You're really calm with your 59 frequency
Heart rate, yes. Balint, hi, I'm
rate
here.
with.
And
Ciao.
I just
Hey,
resigned. So,
hi, Anne. I watch all the time. I
yeah.
gave some commentary, maybe not
Mm.
the best, but I speak from my heart. And
Yes.
basically, the main problem was your lack of experience about Dutch defense, and
Mhm.
the development at the end was actually really bad.
Mm.
Um, nothing special to say. White pieces dominated this game. Basically, you help him to be fast as he was, and
Yes.
your undeveloped pieces was critical and crucial for this game.